Yo dudes, Novinator here, and when I resolved to keep doing more videos as Persona 5 Royal News rolled out, I kinda done-diddly forgot how Atlus handles the marketing stuffs. See, I thought I could just kinda hold off until we got another full, proper trailer thingamajig and do another reaction breakdown thingy, but yeah, that ain't how Atlus rolls, opting instead for a slow, steady trickle of information via Famitsu articles and short snippets and other such shenanigans. So here's what we're doing instead. Every insert arbitrary amount of time here, I will do a video recapping everything revealed from now until the next video in a series I've decided to call The Royal Roundup. Alliteration's fun. If you're new here, I make these videos under the assumption that you have played the original version of the game and are looking for speculation based upon facts that only people who have played the vanilla version of the game would be aware of. If you are new to the franchise or looking to experience either version of the game as blind as possible, you should maybe peace out. Because of the way I'm handling these from here on out, these video times are probably going to vary wildly depending on how much information we have, this first one especially because of how late I'm starting this. But hey, as you know, we die like men here, this party's getting crazy, let's rock. Lots of more detailed information on Kasumi, including her persona, Cendrillon, and her all-out attack, which is for some reason not her running over shadows with a giant pumpkin carriage. So what's even the fucking point? It specializes in bless and physical skills, so another Goro. Not suspicious at all. But hey, since Goro is probably gonna switch to Loki and whatever his new scenario is, and he is probably going to lean more towards curse skills, and Kasumi probably won't join until about the same time, that's actually good. It means you'll have a full spectrum of elements with the rest of your party now. I like that, though I had admittedly kinda hoped that she'd bring back the Aqua element for, reasons. Her Arcana is the Faith, and like the Aeon and the Hunger before it, it is not part of the standard tarot deck, and this is actually its first time being featured in the franchise. Ditto for Takuto and the, Confidant that is literally just called the Confidant, I believe. It obviously relates to ideas of belief and trust and the many things like that that can be applied to religion and yada yada, don't want to get into that. Meaning that if I somehow get my wish and she ends up betraying the thieves to help out Cuphead or some other miscellaneous cosmic entity, yeah, the reverse faith would be pretty on point. Just throwing that out there. And a couple of other mostly random clips that seem to just show that she actually has a somewhat likable personality and is not a completely loathsome cad like some, other people. So as long as whatever her story is doesn't turn the plot into 16-year-old girl fanfic, we cool. Lots of minor tidbits about new dungeon and combat mechanics, mostly quality of life changes for people who can't into JRPGs, which I do get. I suspect Smash Brothers is going to bring in a lot of new first-timers to this franchise. You need to make it more accessible. It's mildly frustrating as a difficulty queen, but hey, I guess that's what Merciless is for. These new features include stuff like Kasumi's Confidant giving you an ability that makes it easier to ambush enemies, new unique enemies and special objects that'll provide you with rare items, and gun ammo apparently recharging after battles. Again, nice for people who needed just a little bit of an extra helping hand, but just know that you are weak and will not survive the eugenics wars.
Spilling your spaghetti in front of the entire school.
Confirmation that the game will be coming to PS4 and PS4 alone. Sorry for your loss, Switch Bros, that really does suck. That there will be some kind of bonus received if you carry over your vanilla P5 save data from either the PS3 or the PS4, and that any DLC you previously purchased will be able to be re-downloaded to the Royal for a whopping 10 yen per transaction, so literally a few cents. Might even end up being free in the US version, because that's minuscule. Which is fantastic. I genuinely would not have put it past Atlus to make us buy it all again at full price, so thumbs up. You are a merciful god.
Taking small children to McDonald's.
A snippet of the new battle theme called Takeover, and hot take time, I genuinely despise Last Surprise as a battle theme. As a regular song, it's fine, but as the main battle theme that you're gonna hear over and over again, it just never got my blood boiling the same way pretty much any of Shoji Meguro's other stuff has, so yeah, even just based on a few seconds, I already kind of prefer this one. Last Surprise will likely still be present in some fashion, either as the non-preemptive battle theme or my biggest hope for this game that I didn't already talk about in my original wishlist video. I really just want a music menu where you can pick and choose your battle theme. Devil May Cry 5 has ruined all other games for me. I just think that that'd be the best way to handle this, both to make you weirdos who liked Last Surprise happy, and as a way to let people use DLC costumes without locking themselves into a certain theme forever, because I want to kill Shadows as a Power Ranger while listening to the Catherine music, and ain't no one gonna stop me! An English dub trailer was revealed at E3, not actually at E3 because Sony's being weird right now. It is identical to the Japanese full reveal trailer in every way, at least as far as my pea-brain can tell, but there are a few things I want to talk about anyway. First is just that Kasumi and Takuto have subsequently had their English voice actors revealed to be Laura Post and Billy Kamitz, a lesser-known actress and a somewhat up-and-coming voice actor respectively, and nothing much to say just on the few snippets we've heard so far, but I've heard them in other stuff. They seem like solid choices, anxious to hear more. Second is just that the dub dialogue compared to the fan translations is very, very different. Without the full context of these scenes, we can't be sure if they're more or less accurate, but at the very least, it does sound more natural than the subtitles, so hopefully an early sign for some improvements in the localization department. And finally, something I just straight up didn't notice until this version of the trailer, but I rewatched the Japanese one, and sure enough, it was indeed always there. This shot of a staticky screen. Not the one from the start with Kasumi talking through it, this random one that appears a little later, and just play the music again. This is obviously a slight stretch. It could be literally anything else. It might not even mean anything if it is what I think it is, but hold that thought. Lastly, the first of what I'm guessing is going to dominate the remainder of this series, a character trailer featuring Ryuji, and because I was too slow putting this script together, onto, probably. Knowing Atlus's MO, you can probably expect one of these for every member of the Phantom Thieves, and possibly Confidants. They did them too for the vanilla game. I don't know that they do it again, considering we only have 2 new ones, and they've already been advertised pretty heavily because they're the new ones, and I can't really imagine them tweaking the old social links that drastically, but who knows, we'll see. Ryuji shows a new scene that I'll get back to in a second, and just the scene from his theme park mandate with Skidley that is actually identical to the OG game as far as I can tell, just with a new outfit and that shiny new portrait, which is actually not his permanent portrait. We see his old one too, so no, they're not replacing the old portraits, they're just getting a second one from a new angle, which is nice, spice things up a little bit. I think On's the only other one we've seen that has a new one too. Interested to see the rest, I guess. It wasn't that big of a deal for me, them being in the same pose, but nice for people who like that sort of thing. What everyone actually cares about, his new evolved persona, William? This one is weird to me because William is obviously in regard to Captain Kidd's first name, his first persona. But this is apparently supposed to be a fusion of both his personas instead of a straight up upgrade like Persona 4 Golden, which I honestly welcome. I honestly find most of the evolved persona in general to be far, far inferior to the originals, especially with P5 because they end up kind of clashing with their metaverse outfits. But yeah, this one's just a little weird. Like if that is what they're going for with everyone being a fusion, I don't really see too much of a fusion in this one. It's basically just a younger and hipper Captain Kidd. Just remember your basic math, kids. Skeleton Pirate plus Goku equals Hipster Skeleton. Yeah, that checks out. A new co-op attack, this time with Ryuji and Yusuke, that is just absolutely delightful. Don't really have a lot other to say about it other than that. I had suspected we would only get 4 of these things, 2 characters per move, a la Persona 4 Golden. Very happy to be proven wrong on that one. I assume this means we're getting at least 2 different combinations for every character, perhaps even more. I can't wait to see what other ones they come up with. These are really cool so far. The first scene in this trailer was him discussing a new way of fighting with Yusuke, so I'm willing to bet that that is how this unlocks, and it's triggered by some kind of special hangout event or something or other, who knows. And the final scene, Ryuji getting scouted by a university for his work on the track team? This clenches things. Something is going to happen at either the end of December or start of January that puts the thieves into some fucked up shared dream world. This scene is clearly taking place around the same time period, with Joker wearing the same coat as in the shots with Wakaba and the Accursed One, which brings me back to this shot and back to my crack theory time. I think that much like how Kasumi was talking to Joker through the static in the first shot of the first trailer, something similar might be happening with Goro here. I think his story might play out the same way it did in vanilla, just with some alterations to crank up the Hoye, or just slight differences if he now has a proper or optional social link thing. I think he is going to be the Batman to Joker Superman in this totally not for the man who has everything adaptation, probably having been lost to the metaverse, or no, unless they're completely altering the timeline, actually this can't be the cognitive world since Cuphead dies on Christmas. That must be so hard for the family. Whatever is up with the fucked up dream world, I think it's gonna be up to Captain Pancakes to save our intrepid heroes. God help us all. On to Ons, and not as much to talk about here, sadly. There's some dialogue from the new school outing event, but unless the fabric of reality hinges on this umbrella, it's just fluff text. Another new co-op attack that I'm, not really physically comfortable talking about. And Shio confirmed, we out there, boys! Kind of. I got really excited when I first watched this, kind of half paying attention at work because I thought this might be some kind of new way to hang out with her along with An, but there's that fucking jacket again, and it's January. The date is one day after that Ryuji scene, so, yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna spend most of January in the dream world, so, this shit ain't real. I know a lot of people were hoping for more Shiho, hopefully that still pans out somehow, but, this ain't it, Chief. And you know what? While I'm on my soapbox, neither is this! This poor girl and her friend went through hell! Stop this! And more of that thing I don't want to talk about. Kinda sad that this one didn't have a bit more meat to it, because I think An is a close second to Haru for most underutilized Phantom Thief, and I'm kinda hoping to give her a bit more to work with in the later chapters. And that could still happen, I guess, but we'll see. And that's all I got. Because An's video literally came out as I was editing this, we now know that we will be getting to use character trailers on a weekly basis. I can't promise that I will be able to keep up with these things that frequently, especially if more of these turn out to be as bare bones as An was, but hey, if y'all are cool with 2-minute videos, let me know, I'll see what I can do. Otherwise, I'll just try and do it every 3 characters or so, with some wiggle room if any other news crops up in between them. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. I play video games with my best friends and also yell about Persona 5 by myself. If you really, really enjoyed this video, consider pledging to our Patreon. You'll help support all 3 of us and motivate me to do more solo projects like this. If you want to hear me rant and rave about anything else Persona, or you know what, fuck it, any other games in general, I'm down. I play games besides this one, sometimes. Yell at me in the comments. See you next time!